Hi guys, and welcome to part 51 of Skyrim Mod Sanctuary. Now, originally I did not intend to release a video this week. I have been taking a bit of a break from Skyrim, focusing on my 2012 Anniversary Edition videos, and I've only just come back to the game, and I really hadn't planned on covering any mods because I prefer to play the mods a little bit before I cover them. And as you can see, my game is currently in a very unmodded state. Even the water is not modded. The vanilla water. Horrible. And I have essentially uninstalled absolutely every mod. I've cleaned out my data folder and I'm reinstalling a lot of great mods. But one mod caught my eye. It is a mod that is not very popular at the moment. It hasn't really received that much coverage. And I think that's a shame because I think it's got a lot of potential. And that mod is the Instinctive Exploration mod. Now, what this mod does is it makes exploration of Skyrim seem a little bit more immersive. I mean, it's got a lot of cool little features that I really do like, although there are a few things I would like to change. And I have some suggestions, and I hope the mod author doesn't mind me making those suggestions. But, for example, there is a key set up for exploration. And if you look at the sun and press that key, your character goes into third person and starts peering. I don't know if you saw, but his hand comes up to his eyes and he looks off to the sun and it tells you approximately what time it is. And I think that's very cool indeed. However, I would prefer it if instead of looking up and then it pauses here with this message, if the message would come up and not pause time, because this to me spoils the immersion a tiny bit. Because I do like things like that though, where you just look off and it tells you what time it is, so I don't need to open my menu. So little features like that. You can also use it to explore enemies basically. If you find a mud crab or you think you see something moving over, you can press the E key or whatever you've got explore set up to, and it sends you off to your target and then zooms back towards your character. And you get control over the camera whilst you do it, which is kind of cool. So if you think you see movement, you scan and off you go. And then you think, the mud crab. Which is a very nice little idea. Now, the other thing this mod does is it alters the way maps and fast travel work. You will not be able to actually open your map if you don't have a map in your inventory. So if you go along to my inventory, you will see under armor a map. I'm not sure it should be under armor, it possibly should be under books, but there you go. And if you don't have one of those, you cannot open your map. It will briefly open and then close. Now you can carry these, you can actually buy these maps and you can craft them, but you can carry multiple maps and you may have to. Every time you fast travel, you will use a map up. Now, I don't know how I feel about that because I don't fast travel myself. I prefer to travel everywhere, either take carriages or horses or actually just walk. So this for me is probably not going to be an issue, but I can imagine this will annoy some people, especially those who like fast travel. And unfortunately at the moment there is no option to turn that off, so I'm hoping that the mod author adds an option to remove that, because the other features of this mod are definitely something people would like, even if they didn't like the restriction on fast travel. I like the idea that the mod author's trying to make fast travel something you use sparingly, but I think people either love it and therefore use it all the time, or they hate it and never use it. So I think he should make this an option. However, here's what's great about these maps. You can equip it, and it equips in your left hand. And if I go back to... there you go. I have now got a great big map in my hand. And when I draw my weapons, or the map in this case, I can actually, when I press the key for that hand, I can see the map. And as you can see, the map's a little too big for the field of view I've got at the moment. So I'm going to change it. I think the default field of view is 67, is it not? I prefer to play with about 80. And the map fits perfectly. And as you can see, depending on where you turn, the map does in fact get lit and changed. But that's not all this map does. If I go along to my journal and remove a lot of the quests I've got set so that I only have one quest highlighted. And I now sort of wield, you can see a marker heading off in the direction that this quest is set for. Very similar to the identical to the clairvoyance spell. It's actually very easy to use in third person. And so you can go running off to your destination. I think this is an absolutely superb idea. And I think it's great that I can look at the map here without having to actually go to a map. And it's real time, of course. I don't pause time whilst doing it. So I think this is a great idea. Now, there are a few small things I would like to see added to this, but I don't think are going to be, at least not anytime soon. It would be really nice if when you look at here, when you wield it, a little marker appeared showing you where you are and perhaps where your quest is. That is not easy. To map the texture onto the map would be next to impossible, I think. You would have to do it by putting a marker on the heads-up display, and that is not easy either. However, something is coming hopefully in the next few weeks that may make that a little easier, so I am hoping that the mod author thinks about trying to add those things. It won't be easy at all, and so I will understand if he's got no intention of doing it, but I think that would be very cool. It'd be very cool to see where you are. But as you can see, this is a really immersive way of travelling Skyrim. I mean, using this with my immersive HUD to turn the compass on and off, I'm actually thinking what I might do is have an option that if you have the map mod installed, if you have Instinctive Exploration installed with immersive HUD, it will actually toggle the compass on and off when you look at the map. So for example, it basically would look like this when you looked at the map, and when you stopped, it would look like that. So basically like that, because I think that would be very, very cool. Map and compass, and that like this. Now, if you are alpha testing Sky UI version 3 with the MCM menu, this mod does have an MCM menu, and it does let you change a number of things. I would like to see some more options, as I mentioned, but generally very well done, very easy to use. I think this mod has got a lot of potential indeed. Now, of course, as I mentioned, really you do need to be using a field of view of about 75 or above to use this map, and you can change your field of view from the console by typing FOV and the desired FOV, but it usually needs to be set each time you get in game. You can use another console command to save that to your ini file, but it's not always, it doesn't always work. So you can change that in your ini files though. You can edit those, and there is a great tool that would actually help you out. I'm going to cover that next. Now, the tool I want to show you is the Skyrim Configurator, and this is a great tool for editing your ini files, editing those little settings without having to constantly go and change text files. It is also a great way to change things like your resolution and those type of settings, because rather than go through the launcher, which resets your ini files every time you do it, you can do it using the configurator, and it will not reset any other changes that you've made, which is very useful. Now, you can actually download this mod with Manager, or you can download it manually and extract it wherever you like. If you download it with Manager and you install it that way, I will do that now. As you can see, I've got almost no mods installed, as I'm fresh install of the game for me. So if I go to the Skyrim Configurator and activate it, it will install. And if you go along to the data folder after you've activated it, you can find skyrimconfig.exe there, and you can run it from there without any problems actually. However, I generally don't recommend this. It's not a good idea to have executables inside that folder. So I'm going to deactivate that and delete it. Generally speaking, I recommend against having things that are executable inside your data folder. So I recommend download manually. You can basically download it to wherever you like. The executable will actually run from wherever. Once it has downloaded, you can use WinRAR or 7Z to extract. I'm going to extract it right here. And you can run it from this folder. I would place it where it's somewhere. Now, I actually place mine not in the Skyrim data folder, but in a folder called Skyrim Conf etc, etc, inside the Skyrim folder though, but not in the data folder. And I run it from there. And I even have a shortcut set up for it. So as you can see, once you start it up, you can change the resolution, change custom resolution if you wish, or these are the resolutions for your aspect ratio. You can add VSync, change full screen. You can change a lot of things. There are actually quite a few advanced settings such as threaded meshes, etc. Play with those at your discretion, see if they give you a boost. Be warned, some people have mixed results with them. You get a lot more control over things like your shadows. You can really set it to be very high quality shadows. There are some presets in the quality, or you can do custom settings. I will leave you to discover what all of those do individually. But it is very easy to do. Oh, disable mouse acceleration, hate mouse acceleration, and disable the Bethesda intro without having to go in and change any INI files, which is really nice. The graphics settings are pretty useful. You can do all of the things you can do from the launcher and a few more things. And as I mentioned in the game, you can change the field of view here and make it default to whatever it is you want it to be. You can make it default to 80, and then every time you load your game, it will be done. Click apply to make sure it actually applies it. And that's it, Skyrim Configurator. Very, very user-friendly way to change various settings in Skyrim. The other mod, the Instinctive Exploration mod, that is actually quite easy to install. It is go along to the tab section, download with manager and activate. And that's it for this video. I'm going to end this video as usual with a lot of the screenshots that you guys have been posting. Keep posting them, they're absolutely brilliant. If you want to post some screenshots for me, I will put the link below. You're more than welcome to put them there, and I will try to get as many of them included in these videos as possible. My new playthrough is about to begin, so of course I'm going to be trying out loads of great new mods and will of course be covering them in my videos. I hope you guys can join me for those, and whatever videos you join me for, I look forward to seeing you, and until then, as always, have fun.